Good evening and welcome. We're continuing on in the book of Daniel, so we're reading from Daniel 10 tonight. So thanks again for joining, and if anyone watching after, don't forget, if you get something out of this reading, or if it encourages you, or just encourages you to pick up the Bible, then please by all means leave us a like. That is super helpful to reach more people. You can see all the videos where somebody's just left a few likes, and those videos just start to scatter through the algorithm, and it starts to get picked up by all new people. So that's all it really takes, is just a handful of people just hit like, but obviously I encourage it on something that you do actually like, of course. So that's what I'm asking it for support. If you can help, that would be wonderful too. So let's get reading, and let's just keep going in Daniel and keep moving through this. So Daniel 10, Daniel's terrifying vision of a man. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a word was revealed to Daniel. It was named Belteshazzar, and the word was true, and it was a great conflict. And he understood the word and had an understanding of the vision. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning for 3 weeks. I ate no delicacies. No meat or wine entered my mouth, nor did I anoint myself at all for the full 3 weeks. On the 24th day of the first month, as I was standing on the bank of the great river that is the Tigris, I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a man clothed in linen, with a belt of fine gold from Upaz. So we see this man clothed in linen many a times in the Bible. So gold from Upaz around his waist. His body was like beryl, his face like the appearance of lightning, his eyes like flaming torches, his arms and legs like the gleam of burnished bronze, and the sound of his words like the sound of a multitude. So the interesting thing about this passage that is worth paying attention to is not only are we seeing the appearance of the man, but we're also seeing the connections and relationships to the different parts of his body. Now we know with Jesus that the body of Christ is are all his people that are attached to him, and we understand that we're all different members of the body. So when we see these eyes like flaming torches, and we start to see the flaming torches, the lampstands, and we see all the references to the flames that go up before him and all these different things, and his eyes get sent out into all the earth, his spirits and other things, we start to then see all these different connections. We see the burnished bronze many times. We see the appearance of lightning, like his sword as well. The sounds of his words like the sound of a multitude, and other things. We also see a connection with like a multitude of people. So it's worth paying attention to this passage and sort of thinking outside the box a little bit, and not just going, okay, that's just his physical appearance, but also looking at the greater connection of his people surrounding him and who they are as well. We can see we're all different body parts, and these different body parts all have different roles, they're different members, but they all serve the one body, and that's the main thing. We all serve the same body, and that's the most important thing. We might be different members, but we all serve the same and the one body of the body of Christ. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men who were with me did not see the vision. But a great trembling fell upon them, and they fled to hide themselves. So I was left alone and saw this great vision, and no strength was left in me. My radiant appearance was fearfully changed, and I retained no strength. So let's just back up a little bit. What did he do before the vision? So it says he was mourning for 3 weeks. So, and that's the righteousness of these gentlemen, right? So Daniel, like anyone who mourns for more than a few days, or when you see this sense of mourning, like what we're talking about, like you start to see that in this day and age, that's, and obviously someone's died, that's pretty common, because it takes a long time to get through mourning. But we see here for 3 whole weeks he was mourning. He ate nothing, no delicacies, so nothing appetizing, no meat or wine, nothing that would bring him that sense of joy. Nor did I anoint myself at all for the full 3 weeks. And then on the 24th day of the month, that's when he had this vision. So he was mourning. Obviously he was weeping and praying, and his heart was hurting, but he crucified his flesh. And as he crucified his flesh, we can see he has this vision, this incredible vision. And he says there was no strength left in him by then. So my radiant appearance was fearfully changed, and I retained no strength. So we could say that he was obviously fasting to some degree. When he was doing this. So it seems like the Daniel fast, the 21-day thing. My radiant appearance was fearfully changed, and I retained no strength. Then I heard the sound of his words, I fell on my face in deep sleep, with my face to the ground. So what we understand about this is, we see this in the spirit. It's got like a temporary detachment from the body, in the sense of it enters, sometimes it's like into a vision, or a dream state, or a place where you're all of a sudden in a sleep, right? So that's how God can communicate with us. He can communicate in the spirit with us. He can choose to when we're awake, but he does so usually in our sleep. That's the most common way he'll communicate, outside of obviously his word and so forth, so that we see in the Bible. And behold, a hand touched me and set me trembling on my hands and knees. And he said to me, O Daniel, man greatly loved, understand the words that I speak to you, and stand upright, for now I have been sent to you. And when he had spoken this word to me, I stood up trembling. Then he said to me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand, and humbled yourself before your God, your words have been heard. And I have come because of your words. The prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, but Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I was left there with the kings of Persia, and came to make you understand what is to happen to your people in the latter days. So this latter days is a passage, if we can search this up, we'll see that this is mentioned quite a number of times. So talking about further down the line, the age to come where they were. At this time, when Daniel's visions were being reported here or written down, we can see that there are many that talk of these things already being fulfilled, but as we understand it, these visions were for a time. They were sealed up, right, for a time later, just like he says, seal up the seven thunders in Revelation. That's for a time. So the vision was for a latter day time, and we can see that the fourth beast, for example, is a perfect example of that, where it's it had to await all these changes to happen before it would start to happen. So we don't know 100% for sure, but it's, if you have a look around at the day we're living in, it's pretty hard not to see that the fourth beast is this generation of iron mixed with clay that we're sort of living in now. We're starting to go into this transhumanism world, and this world of transhumanism is robots and man, and not just robots, but like man turning into digital, a digital device / machine. So nanotechnologies, robots, like everything, and that's the age we're in now. It's an age unlike anything that's ever come before, and technology had to get to the point where it was possible, and now it is possible. So we're seeing, this actually happening now. The vision is for days yet to come. When he had spoken to me according to these words, I turned my face towards the ground and was mute. And behold, one in the likeness of the children of man touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spoke. I said to him who stood before me, O my Lord, by reason of the vision pains have come up upon me, and I retain no strength. How can my Lord's servant talk with my Lord? For now no strength remains in me, and no breath is left in me. Again one having the appearance of a man touched me and strengthened me. And he said, O man greatly loved, fear not, peace be with you. Be strong and of good courage. And as he spoke to me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. Then he said, Do you know why I have come to you? But now I will return to fight against the prince of Persia. And when I go out, behold, the prince of Greece will come. But I will tell you what is inscribed in the book of truth. There is none who contends by my side against these except Michael your prince, the king of the south and the north. And as for me, in the first year of Darius the Mede, I stood up to confirm and strengthen him. And now I will show you the truth. Behold, 3 more kings shall arise in Persia. There goes the microphone again. I really need to get a better stand for it. And a 4th shall be far richer than all of them. And when he has become strong through his riches, he shall stir up all against the kingdom of Greece. Then a mighty king shall arise, who shall rule with great dominion, and do as he wills. And as soon as he has risen, his kingdom shall be broken, and divided towards the 4 winds of heaven, but not to his posterity, nor according to the authority with which he ruled. For his kingdom shall be plucked up and go to others besides these. Then the king of the south shall be strong, but one of his princes shall be stronger than he, and shall rule, and his authority shall be great authority. After some years they shall make an alliance, and the daughter of the king of the south shall come to the king of the north and make an agreement. But she shall not retain the strength of her arm, and he and his arm shall not endure. But she shall be given up, and her attendants, he who fathered her, and he who supported her in those times. And from a branch from her roots one shall arise in his place. He shall come against the army, and enter the fortress of the king of the north. And he shall deal with them and shall prevail. He shall also carry off to Egypt their gods with their metal images, and their precious vessels of silver and gold. And for some years he shall refrain from attacking the king of the north. Then the latter shall come into the realm of the king of the south, but shall return to his own land. So you can see the complexity of this story, that it's not just straightforward. You have to put all these pieces together, piece by piece. It's slow, and Daniel is a part of the Bible that is challenging. But the point is that it's all here, right? The story, the prophecy of the things to come, it's all here. And we see that this forms a picture of times that happen, and then times that sort of happen again in the latter days. So we can see that not all of these are repeats, but some parts of Daniel you look at and you'll go, oh, that happened in this time, but it looks like it happens again. So people share different beliefs about it, but ultimately what he says at the start, the latter days, is the bit that really stands out. In the latter days, it's sort of talking on the 4th beast and other things. He shall also carry off to Egypt their gods with their metal images, and their precious vessels of silver and gold. And for some years he shall refrain from attacking the king of the north. Then the latter shall come into the realm of the king of the south, but shall return to his own land. His sons shall wage war and assemble a multitude of great forces, so war, which shall keep coming, and overflow and pass through, and again shall carry the war as far as his fortress. Then the king of the south, moved with rage, shall come out and fight against the king of the north, and he shall raise a great multitude, but it shall be given into his hand. And when the multitude is taken away, his heart shall be exalted, and he shall cast down tens of thousands, but he shall not prevail. For the king of the north shall again raise a multitude greater than the first, and after some years he shall come on with a great army and abundant supplies. So you can see there's quite a significant gap of time in between all of these things. In those times many shall rise against the king of the south, and the violent among your own people shall lift themselves up in order to fulfill the vision, but they shall fail. Then the king of the north shall come and throw up siege works and take a well-fortified city, and the forces of the south shall not stand, or even his best troops, for there shall be no strength to stand. But he who comes against him shall do as he wills. I really want to I haven't studied this Daniel 11 passage like I've studied the other parts of Daniel, so I really want to study this passage at some stage, because there's so much in it, and it's difficult too. So I'll be interested to see what all this kind of means. But he who comes against him shall do as he wills, and none shall stand before him. There goes my air conditioner. And he shall stand in the glorious land with destruction in his hand. He shall set his face to come with the strength of his whole kingdom, and he shall bring terms of an agreement and perform them. He shall give him the daughter of women to destroy the kingdom, but it shall not stand or be to his advantage. Afterward he shall turn his face to the coastlands and shall capture many of them, but a commander shall put an end to his insolence. Indeed, he shall turn his insolence back upon him, then he shall turn his face back towards the fortresses of his own land. But he shall stumble and fall and shall not be found. Then shall arise in his place one who shall send an exactor of tribute for the glory of the kingdom. But within a few days he shall be broken, neither in anger nor in battle. In his place shall arise a contemptible person to whom royal majesty has not been given. He shall come in without warning and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. Here we go. Armies shall be utterly swept away before him and broken, even the prince of the covenant. And from the time that an alliance is made with him, he shall act deceitfully and shall become strong with a small people. Without warning he shall come into the richest parts of the province, and he shall do what neither his fathers nor his fathers' fathers have done, scattering among them plunder, spoil, and goods. He shall devise plans against strongholds, but only for a time. And he shall stir up his power and his heart against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall wage war with an exceedingly great and mighty army, but he shall not stand, for plots shall be devised against him. Even those who eat his food shall break him. His army shall be swept away, and many shall fall down slain. And as for the two kings, their hearts shall be bent on doing evil. They shall speak lies at the same table, but to no avail. For the end is yet to be at the time appointed. I think there might be more about the interpretation below on this one. I can't remember. It's been a while since I read this one. He shall return to his land with great wealth, but his heart shall be set against the holy covenant. And he shall work his will and return to his own land. At the time appointed he shall return and come into the south, but it shall not be this time as it was before. For ships of Kittim shall come against him, and he shall be afraid and withdraw, and shall turn back and be enraged and take action against the holy covenant. He shall turn back and pay attention to those who forsake the holy covenant. Forces from him shall appear and profane the temple and fortress, shall take away the regular burnt offering. So this is like the abomination of desolation, which we see in the Maccabean revolt and Antiochus Epiphanes back in the day, who defiled the altar with I think he slaughtered a pig on the altar. This seems to kind of imply about that abomination that makes desolate. But what we see in the time of the tribulation that's talked about in the end is that there's the abomination that makes desolate. So we can see that it's a future event. So forces from him shall appear and profane, and I believe it's at the midpoint of the tribulation, so after the first 3.5 years, as it appears to be anyway. Profane the temple and fortress, he shall take away the regular burnt offering, and they shall set up the abomination that makes desolate. He shall seduce with flattery those who violate the covenant, but the people who know their God shall stand firm and take action. So the interesting thing about this is, if you're reading into it a little bit, is there was the morning and nightly sacrifice, and essentially, even though there's no temple anymore, but we're the temple, God's people are still at work, right? So we're still basically, God's people are called to work, and called to be a living sacrifice. So this could be translated in a way to say that this offering that's taken away is the cessation of religious practice, or practice, not religion, but practicing our worship, practicing our faith, right? It can be the actual closure of the churches, of public churches. It can be the outlawing of religion, because he actually talks about changing laws and times and other things in another passage. Sort of, it seemed to imply that he's going to use that in order to wear out the saints, essentially. So I don't know, but it seems to be that, it seems you can already see kind of traces of how they're already starting to try and make or position Christianity towards a hate crime and other things. It won't be all that long before we start to see Christianity and the Bible and reading it be outlawed. I mean, they're already there's new legislation in Australia already that's sort of pointing to this, that they're trying to pass at the moment. They're going to have some sort of, I wouldn't even use the word grace, but there's some sort of word about religious texts aren't subject to part of it, but we'll see. Anyway, who knows? It's interesting though. And the wise among the people shall make many understand. This is an interesting part. So those who are wise among the people, so the people who understand their God, right? So and when you see this passage too, it also says that they'll instruct many in the KJV, rather than just many understand. So it's like, it's not just we'll make you understand, it's we're going to instruct you. That's the sort of the way that's written in the KJV, which is a bit more true to, I think, the passage and the context. But it says that some days they shall stumble by sword and flame, which we've ascertained, by captivity and plunder. When they stumble, they shall receive a little help, and many shall join themselves to them, to God's people, with flattery, right? Because they're gonna be like, they're gonna see these mighty works that they're doing, and they're going to come and join themselves to them. And some of the wise shall stumble, so they may be refined, purified, and made white until the time of the end. For it still awaits the appointed time. So it's saying, like, some of them will have they'll stumble, they'll err, so that they can be refined, right? They can be sanctified and made white until the time of the end. So it's saying at this time, when this happens, when they're being persecuted, it isn't yet the end. And we know the end is pretty much when the wrath of God has come, right? We know that's when Jesus is, just before Jesus treads a winepress, we see all of the trumpets and the bowls, and then we see him tread the winepress, and basically that's when everything's finished. So, and the king shall do as he wills, he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak astonishing things against the God of gods. He shall prosper till the indignation is accomplished, for what is decreed shall be done. He shall pay no attention to the gods of his fathers, or to the one beloved by women. He shall not pay attention to any other god, for he shall magnify himself above all. He shall honor the God of fortresses instead of these, a God whom his fathers did not know. He shall honor with gold and silver, with precious stones and costly gifts. He shall deal with the strongest fortresses with the help of a foreign god. Those who acknowledge him he shall load with honor. He shall make them rulers over many, and shall divide the land for a price. At the time of the end, the king of the south shall attack him, but the king of the north shall rush upon him like a whirlwind, with chariots and horsemen, and with many ships. And he shall come into countries, and shall overflow and pass through. So, I could be wrong here, but the king of the north sounds an awful lot like Jesus, because he comes in a whirlwind, he comes with chariots and horsemen. So I'm interested in how this works. And he shall come into countries and overflow and pass through. He shall come into the glorious land, and tens of thousands shall fall, but these shall be delivered out of his hand. Edom and Moab and the main parts of the Ammonites, he shall stretch out his hand against the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. As we're reading recently about the judgments on Egypt, he shall become ruler of the treasures of gold and silver and all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Cushites shall follow in his train. The news from the east and the north shall alarm him, so it's not him, and he shall go out with great fury to destroy and devote many to destruction. And he shall pitch his palatial tents between the sea and the glorious holy mountain, yet he shall come to his end with none to help him. So it's talking about the king of the south, I think, there. Anyway, I'm not sure about this passage. I'm not sure about who's who yet. I need to study it. The time of the end. At that time shall arise Michael, the great prince, who has charge of your people, and there shall be a time of trouble. This is what people call Jacob's trouble, such as never has been since there was a nation till that time. But at that time, and this bit is very telling, because this, since there was a nation till that time. So we know that Jerusalem became a nation in like 1948, I think it was. And there was it 1948 or 1962? I think it might have been 1948. So what year did Jerusalem become a nation? 1948. Yeah, cool. 1948 it became a nation. So there was a lot of war and fighting over that. But at the time your people shall be delivered, everyone whose name shall be found written in the book. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So we can see those who died faithfully, those to everlasting life, those to everlasting shame and contempt. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the sky above, but those who turn many to righteousness, like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. So Daniel's been given this incredible revelation. I mean, this is the real meat of what's going to happen. It's all here. It's all written here, and therefore that's why we can't just go to one part of Revelation. We've got to look at Daniel. We've got to look at Ezekiel. We've got to look at Joel. We've got to look at all the other prophecies all combined together and have a look at them as one picture, because they are one picture essentially. This passage here, he says, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. So seal it up, because that's when it's for. So many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Now, this is what you could interpret this a few ways. Like Satan says, when God says to him, "Where have you been?" He goes, "I've been, running to and fro on the earth, back and forth," and so forth. You could interpret this as people traveling, or you could interpret this as people like going over here for something, going over here for something, going over here for something. Like they keep going to and fro for understanding, because it's at a time when knowledge will increase. It sort of hints and applies, and we have the internet, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're running to and fro between this person and that person, and this source of information, that source of information. That's one thing we're doing on the internet. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, two others stood, one on this bank of the stream, and one on the bank of the stream. And someone said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the stream, "How long shall it be till the end of these wonders?" And I heard the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the stream. He raised his right hand and his left hand toward heaven, and swore by him who lives forever, that it will be for a time, times, and half a time. And that that's how long will this be? So 3.5 years. And that when the shattering of the power of the holy people comes to an end, all these things will be finished. I heard, so we understand that the two witnesses die sort of at the midpoint of the tribulation, about the fifth, sixth trumpet. It could be then, or it could be like further towards the end, right? But the interesting thing is that it appears there are some passages we're talking about. It appears there are people sort of there right up until the end of it. So those who remain will be caught up and so forth. All those passages. There's a whole bunch of different things that point to different people being there in the latter parts of it. I heard, but I did not understand. Then I said, "O my Lord, what shall be the outcome of these things?" He said, "Go your way, Daniel, for the words are shut up and sealed until the time of the end. Many shall purify themselves and make themselves white and be refined, but the wicked shall act wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. But those who are wise shall understand, and from the time that the regular burnt offering is taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate is set up, there shall be 1290 days. Blessed is he who waits and arrives at the 1335 days. But go your way till the end, and you shall rest, and shall stand in your allotted place at the end of days." Right? So we can see that there's a time period that's specified here, and it says the bit that we're looking at, and from the time that the abomination desolate set up, there shall be 1290 days. So that appears to be at the midpoint of the tribulation. So if we look at 1290 days, so we go to the calculator and we just go 1290 divided by 360. Okay, it's 3.5 years. So it's saying that from that midpoint of the tribulation, which is where we believe the abomination is set up, there's 3.5 years till it's all finished, right? But there's also just a few days after that. So if you have a look, if you my maths isn't so good, so I'm just going to go 1335 minus 1290. There's a difference of 45 days between the two dates, right? So after the 3.5 years, it's 3.5 years plus 45 days. Blessed is he who waits and arrives at this date here, but go your way till the end. So it's the interesting thing about this is that we're given these two passages here. So anyway, that's the end of Daniel. So we're going to pick up from Hosea and continue to read in the morning and go from there. Just a real short reading tonight, guys, but that's good. We're staying in the Word, and just to do it twice a day is a good thing. So God bless, and Maranatha.